Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the KOXE Coaches Show. I am Derek Stuckley, along with Brownwood Lions head football coach, athletic director Sammy Burnett. The playoffs are here. The first game is Thursday. How are you feeling, Coach?
Feeling great. Feeling wonderful.
Good deal. Well, the Lions will take on El Paso Irvin, 7 o'clock Thursday at Ratliff Stadium in Odessa. Brownwood has been to the playoffs 14 years in a row, but since 2015, they just got out of the first round once. That was in 2019. You were part of that team, but obviously expectations are a little bit different going into this postseason run.
Yeah, sure. I've said it before. I can relate this team to the 2019 team. Very athletic group of kids, have a mental focus that's exceeds expectation, and I think that they're just ready and expect to make a run. There's some dang worthy opponents out there, but as we went into our open week and got healthy, I think we're as healthy now as we've been all year, minus Dryden Anderson, which everybody knows we lost for the season. But other than that, everybody else is back. Colton McMillan hopefully will get released tomorrow or today, so we'll be full force other than Dryden, which is still wish that he would have had the opportunity to play. He was projected to be the district MVP on defense, and we lost him the first game of the year. So other than Dryden, we'll have everybody back, so we're excited about that, and our kids are excited. The season's over, the regular season and district is over, but for us, we feel like we got unfinished business, and I've been a part of the groups before that were ready to go to the next sport, and our kids aren't. They're hungry. They come in and they work hard every day. They listen to what the coaches are telling them to do, and they have high expectations for themselves. They love each other. They believe in each other. They believe in the coaching staff. It's just a great culture right now.
Of course, we waited 10 weeks to get to a bye, which happened last week. Now you're coming off a bye going into the playoffs. Any concern about having the bye last week?
No, we did a lot of mental preparation last week, talking to our kids and, like I said, expectations and how to get to where we want to be and look at the small picture and work on us. And our MO is real simple. I mean, if we just get better every day, not being satisfied where we are right now, and just get better every day at what we do, it really doesn't matter who we play. Let's go focus on us. Make sure that we show up on Thursday or Friday night to play, and it really doesn't matter who that opponent is. We feel like we're talented enough and gifted enough that we can play with anybody. And, we dropped 2 games this year, and if you look back at those 2 games, it was really us that caused the mistakes that cost us the ball game. So we just need to continue to fix us. Last week we had some rest time, but we also had some individual work where we just got to get better at what we do. Just sharpen up our skills and become what I tell our kids all the time. You have to be a master at your craft. Whatever position you play, be a master at it. Do it to the best of your ability. Use the gifts that the good Lord's given you to the fullest, and go out there and trust and have faith that that's enough. And I feel that is. So our kids' focus is there. And I think after a week off, they're recovered, they're rested, their batteries are charged, they're ready to get out there and practice. Had a good day today, and we have one more tomorrow, and that's it. So they're focused to know that it's a short week, but there's a task at hand, and they're really not concerned with Irving. They're concerned with how we perform. And if we do that, we don't turn the ball over. We keep playing physical on offense and defense up front, protect the football, create turnovers when we can. We feel like we have an opportunity to be really successful.
Well, speaking of Irvin, they're 2-8 coming into the game, 4th place team out of District 1. Just what have you seen from them? What stands out to you?
Honestly, offensively, I think we got a great plan for them, their offense defensively. They give some tendencies away with what they want to do. We have a good scheme for that. I think it's pretty simple. We're going to take some of the things that they like to do away from them based on motions and things like that. They like to motion away and get number 1 isolated by himself and throwing the football. He's probably 90% of the passes go to him. We're always going to have him bracketed in some form or fashion. It's going to allow us to heat the quarterback up a little bit, try to get him uncomfortable. You really be strong up front with our defensive line. Having Cole Miller back is going to be big for us. He's a big kid that's very physical, very strong. So hopefully be able to push him around and not let that quarterback get comfortable. And then, just dominate up front with the run game. On the defensive side, for us offensively, we haven't seen much of them. I say that we have 4 films on them, but only 2 of those films allow us to see what kind of set they'll be in defensively based on the spread formation. Those teams that are under center that run the split back veer, the wing T, we don't get much from because we don't run that formation. But we have a good idea of what they're going to do. I think without a doubt, once we get in a couple of formations, we'll have them pegged. it doesn't take long for us to figure out what someone's trying to do to us, and we'll attack it. We're going to be the same as we are offensively. We're going to do what we do. Of course, we're going to run the football and set up the pass, and we have a couple of formations that I don't know that they haven't seen that we think puts them in a bind. I don't think they line up to them properly. So I think we can take advantage of that. And like I said, we just need to go out there and execute our game plan, have faith in us and who we are and what we're about and the gifts that we've been blessed with, and go out there and just use those and have fun.
Since the third district, defense has y'all forced 19 turnovers all season, but since the third district, y'all have forced 11. So what has happened differently the last 4 games that y'all are able to get so many takeaways?
Focus, I think, wanting to get better, have the desire to get better, that comes from practice. And working on techniques, from whether it's the way we pedal, the way we drop to a coverage, the way we stick and drive routes, things like that with the secondary where we've created some interceptions, being in the right place at the right time when you're supposed to be there, anticipating what they're going to do based on the film study that you've done, and then just being physical, going out there and just out-physicaling your opponent and causing turnovers. And on the other side as well, a strong focus on always protecting the ball in practice. Doesn't matter if it's the quarterback running or the running back or the receivers. Once we've secured that ball, I'm always hollering to protect the football and always keeping that a constant thing in their mind. And, just being sure that we take care of what we do and not give people opportunities to take advantage of on our mistakes. Because, like I said, you look back in the games that we lost, that's what was the cause of it, whether it was busted tackles, whether it was a turnover, an interception, or a fumble. And that's cost us 2 ball games, and we don't want that to happen. So our kids are really focused on that. But I think the turnovers are created because our kids know where they're supposed to be, to understand the system and what we're trying to do in the game plan, and playing fast and just being a little bit faster in their team.
You mentioned this season you wanted the offense to average 40 points a game going into the playoffs. Y'all are right at 40 now. During district, y'all average 50 points a game. Seems like everything's hitting on all cylinders, or getting pretty close at least. Just kind of talk about the development of the offense here.
Yeah, and like I said before, it all starts with the offensive line. We go as they go. They're the heartbeat of the team. I've said before, it takes the offensive line so much longer to gel and to get into where they're clicking. If they're a 6-cylinder machine, all 6 cylinders are running, and running in a way that they're performing well together. And I've seen growth in them. They have great leadership. They're all seniors. They want to be successful. They work hard. One of the best things that's happened to our offensive line is having to go against our defensive line every day in practice, and our linebackers. I mean, iron sharpens iron, and we've been able to practice every day with our good on good. And they just make each other better. There's frustration at practice when they can't block one of our defensive linemen, and they work on to get that better. They're always communicating with each other. Our defensive line is in the same way. If we break a play on them, they're getting frustrated, and so they're just making each other better. But their mental focus is big. There's a lot of things that go on the offensive line that people don't understand, from identifying which linebacker we're calling Mike, to them stemming, to stunt pickups, to defensive shifts or adjustments or twists or whatever. And those linemen have to sift that out and make those plays on every play that's called, whether it's a run play or whether it's a pass play, from their protections to their blocking assignments on a run play. I mean, that changes in the middle of a play. It changes right before a play, and our kids have got to know that. And that comes from, number one, a great leader in Dexter Nard, the offensive line coach. I mean, he's a great offensive line coach. Those guys love him. He's very knowledgeable. He's a student of the game. I mean, he's going to be prepared, and he's going to have those kids prepared. And they believe in him. If he says something, it's gospel to them. And they can just go out there and execute his game plan. But I've seen tremendous growth in them through the course of the year, and I think we're peaking with that group right at the right time.
Okay. As far as ticket information for the game Thursday night, do you have anything to share?
Yeah, it's going to be $8 at the gate, cash at the gate. Any ticket, whether you have yourself and 3 kids, whatever, it's $8 per ticket. So that's to cover costs of stadiums and all that kind of stuff, and that's something that El Paso really pushed. So it's going to be $8 at the game. It'll be cash at the ticket boxes, just like old school. So that's pretty simple.
Okay, so no tickets in advance, no online tickets?
No pre-sale tickets. It's all going to be at the gate.
All right, that sounds good. Well, let's talk about some other sports going on. I know girls basketball has their first game tomorrow.
They kick off their season at Eastland at 5 o'clock, so I wish Coach Hortz and her staff and all those young ladies that have been in the gym working hard all the success at the start of their year. And then our boys will go to Lingoville at 5 o'clock on Tuesday as well, and they'll scrimmage Lingoville. So Coach Parker has those guys in the gym. They're working really hard. They got a good core group of guys right now that have been going at it. I feel sorry for him a little bit, but I don't. But because he has a lot of football players that play basketball as well. But that's how it goes at small schools, and he understands that coming from Dublin. I mean, you share kids, and he's one of the biggest fans that we have on the football side. He roots our kids on. He supports them. He's always encouraging them, and he's one of those that has the mentality that, Coach, when we get them, we'll be great. Until then, we'll use the guys that we have, and that'll be good enough. And when we get the whole team together, we'll have time to gel and get ready for district. So I appreciate him and his attitude. As anybody knows, if you have ever been around athletics, or sometimes there can be guff between the football coach and the basketball coach, and I've always strived not to have that. We're one family and one team, and he's rooting for us to go all the way. So I appreciate him, and those kids that he has are in there working hard. I'm excited to see what they do, and when we're done with our season, and those guys that are in the basketball program as well will migrate over there and get acclimated as soon as they can and see if they can assist and help the guys that are already there. So I wish them both, the girls and the boys, good luck this Tuesday as they travel to Eastland and Lincolnville and start their season.
Yeah, the boys don't start district till January, so yeah.
We'll get done about February the 12th or 11th or somewhere in there, and let them
get football done.
Yep.
You know, week before Christmas.
Yeah,
there's
that'd
still
be
time
great.
to get ready for basketball.
We'll do that.
Yeah, and then of course Coach Hortz was in here last week. She's got a really young team, but she seemed really optimistic about their outlook this year.
Yeah, they're young, but they got talent, and I like our mentality, and it's the same mentality we have with our kids. We're not going to use being young as an excuse. Either we go out there and win or we don't. And when I was going through that with our guys that are seniors now that were young, and we were taking it, we weren't making excuses why we're losing. We're just trying to find ways to win, and that's her mentality. And they're not, those girls that are younger they're not taking that as a knock. They're going to go out there and grow and do the best they can and be as successful as they possibly can be. And they got great attitudes and they got great skills, so it's going to be neat to see them. She doesn't have a ton of height, but she has some girls that can shoot and they can move the ball around and they handle the basketball well, and they're good fundamentally. And I think a team that's fundamentally sound can have great success. So I look forward to seeing how they do, but they're excited.
All right. Well, it's Monday, so would you like to give everybody your NASCAR report?
Well, yeah.
Last one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if you
It's the
say
last
so.
NASCAR. The season's over until
Okay.
February,
Oh,
so
well,
I don't know what me and
thankfully.
Star are going to do on Sundays if we can't watch NASCAR.
watch some football, Coach.
Well, I do watch plenty of that, so it's hard for me to watch football sometimes because I
That's
try to
true.
break down what I'm watching instead of just enjoying the game. But I enjoyed watching TCU Tech game. That was a good game. Got frustrated when Tech runs a jet sweep and tosses the ball to him and he fumbles it and picks it up and keeps on running when it was an incomplete pass. It took him a couple of series to realize, hey, that was an incomplete pass. It's college football.
Do you yell at the TV like you yell on
Well,
the
I was
sidelines?
yelling at my wife, and my wife said, she goes, I don't understand what you're saying. I'm like, baby, it doesn't make sense to me that in a college football game, they toss the jet sweep, and there's reasons why you do it. We do the same thing. We pitch it. So when a guy runs in motion and you take the quarterback takes a snap and pitches it to the guy, if it's a pitch forward, it's a pass. So if he drops it, it's an incomplete pass. And that's the reason why we don't hand that ball off. I don't want to take a chance on fumbling. And I stress that every time I go to a meeting with the officials before the game. Hey, we run jet sweep, we toss the ball so if it hits the ground, it's not a fumble, it's an incomplete pass. Well, you get in a college football game, and they're going in to score, and they pitch the ball, and the dude drops it. It should be an incomplete pass, and they give him 8 yards or whatever he gets and keep on talking about it. I'm like, how about someone mention the fact that that was an incomplete pass? It took them about 20 minutes to realize that's what it was. And so my wife got to get a right earful because I was sitting on the right side of the couch, and she was on the left, and she learned something there.
I'm sure she appreciated that.
There's always times to learn and grow.
That's true. That's true. Never stop learning.
So I don't know if I got to your question. Oh, we're talking about
It's your NASCAR
my
report.
NASCAR report. I don't know how I got on talking about football, but because you said I was, yeah. So sorry to get off track, but I thought that was interesting.
My fault.
Yeah, apologize yourself. Apologize. But NASCAR, I'll take Joey Logano dominated the race from start to finish. Very classic guy, and I got to admit, I was a guy that didn't like Joey Logano when I got into it. I thought he was just a spoiled brat, guy that got opportunities handed to him. But, learning more about the man and the Christian values that he has and the charities that he supports, I was really pulling for him last night. But he's got his second championship, so congratulations to them. And, what's sad is I'm a big Joe Gibbs fan. Joe Gibbs was a coach, and he coached for the wrong team, but that's not his fault. He took the job that they gave him since Landry was with the Cowboys, and he was a Redskin coach forever, but he was always a class act. He was always a Christian-based guy. He spreads that in his NASCAR environment. He's also in monster motorcycle racing stuff, supercross and stuff, and you don't see him every time after a race that they don't get together as a team and they pray and are thankful for the blessings. You know, he lost JD, his older son, at 49 years old in 2019, and that sort of shocked the racing world because there are families involved. And then his grandson, Ty Gibbs, wins the Xfinity Championship, which is basically the JV of NASCAR racing. And then that night, his father goes to bed, Corey, and dies in his sleep at 49 years old. So I feel for him, and sometimes you wonder, they're such a Christian-based family and the tragedies that they run through. But that's life, man. It teaches you. As I've, come over here today and been thankful for all the things that are going on for us at Brownwood and the opportunities we had today and the opportunity we had tomorrow. We're not guaranteed tomorrow, so make sure you live today and enjoy today and be thankful for the day, because it is a blessing for sure. So my heart goes out for those families, and not just theirs. I mean, they're just in the spotlight. We have families in our own community that are facing adversity and going through struggles and turmoils, and you just sort of feel for those people as they're going through that.
Right. All right. Anything else you want to mention today, Coach?
We better thank those that make this show possible, of course. Auto Glass Magic, Bruner Auto Group, Syntex Body and Paint, Syntex Equipment Sales, Citizens National Bank, Dan Hill Containers, Dr. Bon Young, Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, Edwin Jones Investments, Hendrick Medical, Howard Enterprises, Humphrey Pete's, Heartland Funeral Home, Landmark Life, MC Bank, Painter and Johnson Associates, Smith and Sharp Agency, Sonic Drive-In, Stanley Chrysler, Texas Bank, Weldon Wilson Electric, Western Bank, and Willie's Teas.
All right.
I do want to say this before we get off there. All those people in the big buck contest, you still got a chance, because I can't go hunting until I'm through, so you better get out there and get your biggin.
Everybody's been warned.
Really, I'm a doe hunter. I hunt for meat, not horns.
Well, we appreciate the meat.
That's right.
When you do go hunting.
I'll make you some jerky. It's about jerky season.
Perfect. All right. Well, we will be back Wednesday to talk more about Irvin and jerky and whatever else comes up here on KOXE, KOXE.com, KOXE app, and the KOT Facebook pages.
And we're going to do that on the road, right?
Yes.
Got a meeting in Big Spring on Wednesday, so we'll have to do that on the road.
Yes, so you won't get to see our lovely faces.
That's right. Have a great day, Brownwood.